It was with much sadness that Ireland's rallying community learned of the passing of one of its greatest competitors, supporters, and an all-round gentleman shortly after the Carlow Stages rally. Kevin Barrett passed away peacefully on Monday the 18th of May after a courageous battle with cancer, spending his final moments with his much cherished family. Kevin graced stages throughout Ireland in a variety of top-class rally cars, many of which were firm fan favourites and will go on as iconic timepieces. From Ford Escorts to Subaru WRCs, Kevin knew how to handle them all. A rally winner, the Maynooth driver even ventured as far as Spain to compete on a WRC round during his rallying adventures. His list of podium finishes spanned across decades, with his impact on the sport not limited to his time behind the steering wheel. The driving force behind Triton Shower's iconic Lurgan Park Rally sponsorship, their long-standing partnership with the National Rally Championship, which started in 2015, still remains strong today. Kevin's influence on Irish rallying is one we're all so grateful for. As we look back on a snippet of Kevin gracing Ireland's narrow asphalt roads, our thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family in their time of mourning. Rest in peace, Kevin.
Over crest into 2 right slowing, 16 long, 4 right, 40, tight 4 left.
Absolutely. I mean, the good thing for us is that the locations move every year, so we get the brand awareness all over the country, which is an ideal fit for what we want. So yeah, look, we've been involved in the sport for decades at this stage, but yeah, look, it's just good fit for us.
Good morning and welcome to the Seven Oaks Carlow Stages Rally. I'm Ella Ryan and we're back for round 4 of the Triton Showers Irish National Rally Championship. The country's top crews are getting ready to tackle today's demanding tarmac stages as Carlow once again comes alive for the best of Irish rallying.
Thanks, Ella. Yes, the Triton Showers National Rally Championship headed to the southeast for the Seven Oaks Hotel Carlow Stages Rally. Based in the town of Carlow, just 80 kilometres from Dublin, the event promised 3 fast but technical stages that would test Ireland's leading rally crews and finely prepared machinery. Championship leaders Josh Moffat and Keith Moriarty started first on the road. The 2022 rally winners looking to extend their points advantage after claiming victory in Birr, as well as showing his recent pace aboard the Yaris Rally 2. Opening the road on Carlow's notoriously low grip asphalt would be no easy task though.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Good stages out there today, so yeah, look, I suppose everybody's talking about the weather at the minute. It's obviously a very nice morning here, but it's not really forecast that now for the rest of the day, so yeah, look at it. It's going to be tough now if it's wet, but yeah, it'll be the same for everybody.
Marion Evans made a welcome return to Irish rallying in his Castrol liveried Toyota Yaris Rally 2. The British Rally Championship frontrunner was using Carlow as a warm-up to the Jim Clark Rally in 5 days' time. The Welshman was married earlier in the month. Where else would you go on honeymoon other than the Irish countryside?
Looking forward to it. Weather looks a bit typically Irish today, but if it held out like this, it would be great, but it doesn't look like it. So yeah, look, we're here mostly for the Jim Clark next week, just to get a bit of mileage, because I haven't been on tarmac for a good few months now. So obviously with everything going on, getting married, I haven't had much time to test. So yeah, look, it's just try and get back into the swing of things today and be in good shape for next weekend.
Starting third on the road, Shane Quinn and Stephen Reynolds arrived to Ireland's second smallest county in second place in the championship after their runner-up finish in Birr. The young Longford driver is proving he belongs among Ireland's Rally 2 elite.
Shane, currently lying second in the championship behind Moffat, what is the plan of attack before that first stage today?
Yeah, I suppose from the start of the year we didn't expect to be second after round 2, but I suppose we'll take it as much as we can get of it, of the good luck. Hopefully today is more the same as what happened in Birr. We'll try and start a little bit quicker, but I suppose we just don't want our break for the last 7 weeks to hamper us at all against Moffat or the boys or anything like that. So hopefully we're just not that far away come the end of the first loop.
Michael Boyle was hoping for his top 5 finish of the year after a difficult start to the season. A retirement in Mayo and a non-start in Birr meant the Donegal driver was hungry to prove his pace in the mean-looking Fabia.
Michael, the first of the McCafferty's men on the road today. Tell me, how was Recce and any stages you're particularly looking forward to?
Recce was good. I suppose we got to see it in dry and wet, so it's always good. At least you can mark down a few things. But hopefully it'll stay dry. Depending on where you look, it's saying it's saying 12 o'clock and some saying 3 o'clock. But hopefully we get a good spin at it.
After an impressive third overall on the last round, Kevin Eves might be looking to go one better in Carlow.
Kevin, currently lying third in the championship. I reckon you could be the dark horse of this competition yet.
I don't know. We'll see how the day goes. Look, what a good run in Birr, and we were happy with it. So look, we'll just try and chip away and see how the day goes.
Jason Dixon arrives in Carlow with new machinery, changing from Ford to Skoda. He'll be hoping to get to grips with her quickly, as the narrow Carlow stages leave no room for error. The two-wheel drive battle promised intense action as always. Kevin Gallagher led the entry in his spectacular Darien T90 GTR, facing challenges from the returning Toyota Starlets of Jason Black and David Moffat.
Kevin, tell us, what's the mindset like ahead of today? How are the stages? What will they be like for the Darien?
Look, they're good enough stages. Just I suppose depends if the rain comes, but no, we're looking forward to it, so it should be a good enough day.
A strong field of Ford Escort Mark IIs were bidding for the Mark II Challenge Trophy glory, with three-time winner Frank Kelly defending the defence of his 2024 crown.
Frank, defending champion of the Mark II Challenge, tell me, are the stages today suited to the rear-wheel drives?
Every stage is suited to a rear-wheel drive, in my opinion. Yeah, they're good stages. This club always puts on a good rally. They're fast, but very technical. There's no way that you're sitting back just waiting for the horizon to come. You're going to have to work for it today, and the weather's going to be changeable, so it's going to be a challenging day for everybody, but hopefully we'll be in the mix.
Clerk of the course, Michael Comerford and the team at Carlow Car Club have worked tirelessly over the past few months and have laid on 3 challenging stages repeated 3 times, all located south of Carlow near the Kilkenny area. So it's up to the crews now to see who comes out on top.
That's Carol, and I am Triton, god of showers. She feels like a goddess under that divine deluge. Triton, god of showers.
Opening the road through the 9.7 kilometres of Flagmount, Josh Moffat felt the roads were low grip despite Sunday morning's dry conditions. Moffat's usually quick to stamp his authority in Ireland's national events, but the fastest time instead went to Michael Boyle and Dermot McCafferty, the Donegal crew going 1 second quicker than Marion Evans despite tapping a chicane mid-stage. Evans didn't take long to find his feet across the Irish Sea, going second fastest in the Yaris. Cahan McCourt and Barry McNulty posted the third fastest time in their Skoda, 2.1 seconds behind Boyle, while Shane Quinn went fourth fastest with the same time as Josh Moffat. Quinn's tyres, though, were going off on long corners after picking a softer compound of rubber early in the morning. With only 3.8 seconds covering the top 8 cars after the opening test, the battle for Carlow credentials was perfectly poised. Stage 1 brought disaster for Jason Dixon, whose rally ended early when he slid into a ditch. His Skoda Fabia Rally 2 was stuck, but made it back out and onto the next service halt. There was also drama for Matthew Boyle, who hit the same chicane that had caught out his brother Michael, spinning 360 degrees in the middle of it before continuing. Josh Moffat showed his class on the next 12.1km Kilkieran test, setting the fastest time to jump into the lead by a tenth of a second. A repeat stage win on Sunday morning's final stage gave Moffat a 3.4 second lead over Marion Evans, with early pacesetter Michael Boyle slipping back into third. The Donegal driver clipped 2 chicanes on Kellymount, joking that he had widened them for his rivals coming behind. Still, he was only 8.2 seconds behind Moffat with the rain on the horizon. Nothing was settled after 3 stages. Young Keelan Grogan impressed on Carlow's third stage, jumping up to 4th, tied on time with Kevin Eves, who was bringing his strong pace from Burr into the mix in Carlow. 1 second is all that covered Tommy Doyle in 6th, Matthew Boyle in 7th, Shane Quinn in 8th, and Cahan McCourt in 9th as the battle for the top 10 intensified. Gary Kiernan was right in the mix there in 10th, just 1.1 seconds behind McCourt. Unfortunately for Declan Boyle, he was forced into Super Rally regulations after a sensor issue hit his Skoda Fabia on stage 2. There was early drama in the two-wheel drive race when David Moffat rolled his Toyota Starlet on the tricky test. That left Starlet pride in the hands of Jason Black and Carl Egan, and they duly delivered with the fastest time on stage 2, building a 10-second lead over Gary McPhillips.
Left into crest, 2 left, and tight 3 right hook. Tight 3 right hook and short 4 left after it. 4 left after it. Flat 3 right 40. Flat 3 right again. Here, crest jump 3 left, crest jump 3 left, and right is on flat crest, into fast 3 left, don't cut, into 2 right, and 2 right past the wall, bit of gear down here, care 1 right, and 3 right at the wall, 1 right, next wall, 3 right, and 3 left, don't cut, and 1 right, only 40 chicane right, entry 4, it's fairly open, easy.
Gary was showing great pace over the loose and dusty first loop of stages, and like everyone else was delighted the expected rain showers hadn't yet arrived. For Jason, it was highs to immediate lows as he slid wide here on loose gravel on stage 3, climbing the bank and damaging the Starlet's steering arm, though he could count himself lucky not to have rolled the thing. Modified legend Desi Keenan also had a moment here, but survived to finish the stage, albeit with a 20-second time loss. Kevin Gallagher set a rapid time in the Darien on Kellymount to move into a 5.2 second lead over Rodney Wilton's Mark II Escort. Jonathan Pringle and John O'Dugan were both within a second of Wilton heading into service, setting up a close battle for the rest of the day. Okay, time to catch up with some of the crews after the first loop of stages.
Josh, first loop down, still dry. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was grand now. The stages are so dusty and slippy, it's real tricky, and obviously the grip's good in places, but it was catching us out once or twice with a few moments, but looking apart from that, all good.
Marion, how are you getting to grips with the Irish tarmac?
It's been okay this morning. I feel a bit rusty, to be honest. Just there are places where I know I'm just not doing the right things, but it's coming back to me slowly. That last stage, there was a bit of a nicer rhythm, but we had kind of a half overshoot in the junction. There's a lot of loose there, and we just slid off, touched the bank, and then there was a long fast bit out of it, so we maybe threw a bit away there, but on the whole it's been fine. The grip is quite low, which actually for us for next weekend is good, because there's no grip on the Jim Clark next weekend either. So
Michael, tricky conditions out there this morning, a lot of dust. Tell me, how was that for you?
Yeah, not bad. I suppose here we're running second on the road there, and myself and Josh are probably clearing the road a little bit. And middle of chicanes and stuff were quite dusty, and then we moved 2 chicanes there in that last one, so it might have helped the lads. And behind, that's my excuse. That's my excuse anyway.
Good luck, keep her going.
Thank you.
Kevin, well, what's the verdict? How was the first loop for you?
No, it was fine. Hey, we were just steady, no handling, so chipped through. Look, I think we're sitting maybe joint 5th there with Keelan Grogan, so there's maybe 8 or 9, maybe the 3rd. So, look, hey, we're steady. We're taking no big chances. It's funny in there, like even though it was dry, we were probably expecting we were probably expecting rain. We went in a soft. We were expecting rain probably the last stage there or something like that. So, but now it's slippy or it's dusty, like it's tricky. So if the rain does come, it'll add a layer of fun. But I know we'll see. Hey, we're just trying to figure out now because you go by the weather again. It's saying it's going to deluge here, but it doesn't look like it. But we'll see what happens.
Matthew, exciting morning this morning. Did you get the bumper back? Tell us what happened.
No, I didn't get the bumper back. We're going into chicane, we were right and left-hander before, and we braked a wee bit too late, but we would have been alright, but it was tight and gravelly. We hit the last bale and spun, hit the bank, stalled, had a reverse about 100 yards down the road, stalled again, but we got away eventually, but we just looked at the car there, we lost bloody 24 seconds, but what do you do?
Kevin, how was that first loop for you?
Good. We were kind of, I suppose, a wee bit slow in the first two, but with a good run in the third one, so no, happy out.
Slow but still leading the class?
We're leading there. I think Jason ran wide or something and damaged the steering rack, so I think he might be out there. So, no, we're leading now after that. So, no.
Keep her going.
Keep her going, yeah. Thank you.
So, after 3 stages of the Seven Oaks Hotel Carlow Stages Rally, the overall leaderboard looks like this. And then arrived the rain, transforming the Carlow stages for the second loop, catching out several crews on the 100% wet roads. Fastest through the 9.7 km second pass of Flagmount was Shane Quinn, the Ford Fiesta Rally 2 driver going brave on wet tyres, posting a time 2 seconds quicker than his rivals.
Shiny and very short, 4 left, big dump cut, 60, late 5, red, green 3, small shiny, 60, 4 left, shiny exit, 150 up the middle, very tight 4 right, up, shiny, entry, don't cut it, 100 to a fast 4 left, plus in over gravel, small shiny, 60, middle over long, flat crest, 40, late, very fast 4 right, small shiny, hug, 40, mid right over flat crest, jump, 100 down the middle, fast 4 right, don't cut, 60, caution, come back, line tight 5 right, hug down over the crest, very tight 5 left, come back, fast 4 left in, airy mucky, and very fast 4 right plus.
That stage win moved him up 3 places into 5th overall. Josh Moffat was the biggest loser from the tyre gambles though, losing 8 seconds on stage 4 and handing the rally lead over to Marion Evans. Moffat put softer spare tyres on the front of his Toyota for the next stage, but still lost over 4 seconds to Evans and Eves as his grasp on the rally slipped away. Evans had soft slicks on his Toyota, but crucially had 2 spare wets to put on for stage 5, keeping it steady to take a 6.2 second lead over Michael Boyle into Carlow's final service halt. Cahan McCord posted the fastest time on stage 5 to move within 0.7 seconds of 4th place, the Skoda driver finding excellent pace in the wet. A stall on a hairpin cost Shane Quinn time, but he still moved up to 4th, tied on time with Michael Boyle as the fight for victory kicked off. Just 20 seconds separated the top 10 after 5 stages. Despite the difficult conditions, the rally remained wide open with action on every corner. The slippery 13-kilometre Kellymount test brought drama for multiple crews as grip levels proved impossible to read. It was Irish rallying at its chaotic best. Josh Moffat hit this bank hard with the front left, but was lucky to survive without damage to that Toyota, finishing stage 6 in 4th position, 9 seconds behind Evans. He'd be the first of many to get caught out on that slippery square left. Michael Boyle also having his troubles. He slid on at a junction and stalled, having to reverse back onto the stage. Despite the drama, he still took 4.3 seconds out of Moffat. Shane Quinn's rally unravelled with a 20-second time loss. The Fiesta driver spun on a tight section and then a short distance down the road overshot into this ditch that now had caught Moffat and Boyle, and it dropped him down to 9th. The drama kept coming as now Kevin Eves would be on the bank beating list. Kevin had this big hit on the same stage. Luckily though, he got going again. Marion Evans stopped with Eves, who was recovering from the ordeal, checking that the crew was okay and losing some time while doing so. Matthew Boyle the next to hit that bank hard, and the stage would eventually get red flagged, but not before Cahan McCourt did the same and pulled the wheel of his car. Over in two-wheel drive, Jonathan Pringle jumped ahead of Rodney Wilton and Kevin Gallagher into the lead with a rapid time on stage 4. Gallagher's challenge, though, unfortunately ended when he went off on stage 5. Meanwhile, Frank Kelly spun on wet tyres on stage 4, losing over 20 seconds there. Gary McPhillips, meanwhile, was battling a clutch issue but took 1.7 seconds off Wilton on stage 5. Wilton was on soft slicks and was struggling to read the grip. Pringle was keeping things tidy and it was working. Another fastest time on stage 5 extended his lead by 8 seconds as he pulled clear of the chasing pack. Ollie Benton set the fastest time on Kelly Mount to move up to 4th, 12.3 seconds off McPhillips. He'd been 10th after stage 3 and his recovery drive was gathering serious momentum. And Michael Carbon dropped 30 seconds after going sideways into a chicane, damaging his driver's door. After stage 6, Jonathan Pringle led by 21.8 seconds from Rodney Wilton. Gary McPhillips was 3rd, 3.2 seconds behind Wilton, while Ollie Benton held 4th ahead of John O'Dugan, who was just 2.5 seconds back. Right, time to catch our breath, I think. Let's catch up with some of the crews in service after that drama-filled loop.
Marion, treacherous and ever-changing conditions. How was that loop for you?
Not too bad for us, really. No mistakes. The last stage, Kevin was off on the outside of a corner and we got waved down and there was no sign of an OK board. So we stopped for about, I think we were stopped for about 25 seconds with him until we got a signal to go. So then we drove on and Matthew was off. Was it Matthew Boyle? Yeah, was off at the bottom of the hill as well. So we'd slow for a yellow flag there as well. So yeah, look, hopefully we just get the time amended and we have a clean last loop.
Michael, where do we begin after that loop? So much drama, but you're still here. Tell us.
Yeah, here I suppose. I don't know. I tried to go as hard as I could to keep it safe, and I think it sort of played in our favour. We still had to spin a stall on that 6th stage there, so we dropped probably 10 or 15 ourselves as well. I'd say we had a reverse and everything, so I'd say more like 15. But no, we kept our nose clean, but it was treacherous out there.
Josh, it's a rally of tight margins out there. Tell me about that second loop.
Yeah, it was certainly tough. We actually started like stage 4 and on the start line bone dry, and like 100 metres into the stage just started emptying out of the heavens, and yeah, quite I suppose that's just the way that the whole loop then went from there on, like very, very tricky, very slippy in spots. And stage 6, I think everybody had a bit of drama on it, but yeah, we came into a junction, just couldn't get the car slowed up, pulled the handbrake and hit the bank on the side of the car. We had to then go up the escape road, turn around and proceed on, but I think everybody had issues in that stage, to be fair.
And so the overall results after 6 stages look like this. Right, before we get on to the top 10 then, let's have a look over some of the class results. Anya Lonergan and Kieran Dermody were sole finishers in Class 1 aboard their Honda Civic, completing the challenging Carlow stages to claim class honours. Jack Harris and Aaron O'Regan dominated Class 2 on the Carlow Stages Rally with a commanding 39.2 second victory, claiming top points in the Motorsport Ireland Junior Rally Series after a masterful drive in tricky conditions.
Caution, 4 left slippy and 5 right, 5 left kink. C300 over slippy braking. Turn square left. C300 over slippy braking, turn square left.
The Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy crew delivered 5 fastest times, including a stunning 16.4 second margin on the penultimate stage to seal that Class 2 win. Oran England and Dara Mullen secured second place. The Peugeot 208 Rally 4 crew happy to secure top Stellantis Rally Cup points. Jack Byrne and Uric Davies completed the Class 2 podium in another 208, finishing 9.7 seconds behind England to claim third. Ross Ryan was holding 5th in class when he slid into this ditch on stage 5. Oisin McShane and Niall Myers took a commanding victory in Class 2A. The 2024 MIJRS Junior 1000 champions mastered the mixed conditions to finish ahead of rival James McShea. McShea and Kevin Duggan claimed second place, 21.5 seconds behind McShane, after showing strong pace on their maiden year aboard the Peugeot 208 R2. Rory McGarrity and Martin McGarrity dominated Class 3 in their Citroën DS3 R3, finishing 58 seconds clear of Eamon Russell and Marty McBurty. A dramatic final stage decided the Class 4 honours when Adrian Quinn Jr. and Des Sherlock jumped into the lead after David Leonard and Cole Leonard lost over 20 seconds on the power stage. Quinn's Renault Clio crossed the line just 4.4 seconds ahead of Leonard's Ford Fiesta Rally 3 in one of the closest class battles of the day. Lloyd Hutchinson was in top form at Carlow with co-driver Willie Fitzpatrick alongside. The Mini Master claimed a dominant 4.5-minute victory in Class 9, showing remarkable pace through the technical stages in the diminutive Austin Mini. Owen Aspel and Tomas Kehoe secured second place in their Ford Escort Mark II. David Healy and Martin Byrne claimed a 20.7 second Class 11F victory in their Honda Civic, and that's even with an overshoot on that tricky square left on Special Stage 9. Jack Maguire and Keith McConnon bailed out on that same location, but still secured second place, 51.7 seconds clear of the third place Damien Cullen and Danny Cannon, who completed the podium in another Civic. Drama on the final stage decided Class 11R when Dara Gleeson and Shane O'Mahony jumped ahead of leader Martin McPhillips with the fastest time on the power stage, his fourth stage win of the day. The tyres on Gleeson's Ford Escort Mark II went off through the middle loop, but a late change ensured he finished 13 seconds clear of McPhillips and Peter Farrell's Toyota Corolla. McPhillips also inspected that new gap in the ditch on Special Stage 9. Terence O'Shaughnessy and Eugene McGrath completed the class podium, putting their Toyota Corolla 49.7 seconds behind McPhillips after a solid drive. He also had time to see what all the fuss was about on that slippery square left. James Cassidy and Jared McKenna held on for a narrow 1.6 second Class 12 victory over Declan Campbell and Kevin Cregan after a tense final stage battle. Cassidy also fell victim here with a spin and a stall. Porrick Mohan and Kieran Mulgrew completed the Class 12 podium. That crew very lucky to get to the finish at all after this bit of ditch jumping. Barry McLaughlin and Barry McBride sealed Class 13 honours with a stage win on the final test after Jason O'Brien's hopes of victory disappeared when he lost over a minute with the adventure in this field on the power stage. He had to settle for second. Richie Dalton and Kevin Price's Subaru took the Class 15 honours ahead of Wayne Keogh and Richie Long's sweet-sounding Skoda Fabia S2000. Patrick Doherty and Patrick Dunning dominated the junior category in their Honda Civic, taking a +1 minute Class 16 win. Mark and Declan Smith secured second place ahead of Colin Maguire and Stephen McElroy. Robert Falvey and John Doody claimed the historic honours after a masterful drive through the Carlow stages. Malcolm Pedlow and Ivor Ferguson secured second, unable to match Falvey's pace through the technical tests, while Ed Colton's Hillman Avenger sealed Class 17 honours. Gareth Deasley and Oisin Joyce claimed Class 20 honours in their Mitsubishi Evo 9, finishing well clear of the chasing pack. Colin Flanagan and Kevin Riley secured second in their Proton. David Doherty and Ashley Trimble sealed third, 2 seconds clear of Tommy Kelly, who dropped from third on the final stage. Tommy lost the time after jumping this ditch, but managed to get out again and no major amount of time lost. Evan Stapleton and Eddie Byrne claimed victory in the Dacia Sandero Challenge after a closely fought battle in the identical cars. Killian Doherty and Lauren Doherty secured second place 24 seconds behind them. Keelan Doyle and Rory Doyle claimed the final spot on the rostrum in the one-make series. Colin Carney, another to find out just how tricky those conditions got when he hit this ditch. Sadly for him, it was game over. Patrick McHugh and Porrick O'Donnell brought their Darien home in fifth after a steady drive through the challenging Carlow stages. McHugh put pressure on Frank and Lauren Kelly throughout the loop, eventually overcoming the Moy pilot when he slid up onto a bank on Carlow's very final stage. After sitting 10th following stage 3, Ollie Benton and Kyle Diffin produced an impressive recovery drive to seal 4th in two-wheel drive. John O'Dugan admitted he was struggling in the wet conditions through the middle stages, but found his rhythm on that final loop. A joint fastest time with Pringle on the power stage halved his gap to McPhillips, but he had to settle for third place, 6.7 seconds behind McPhillips. Despite battling clutch issues throughout the second loop, Gary McPhillips and Enda Sherry remained resilient to claim a strong second. The Monaghan driver enjoyed a close battle with Rodney Wilton before the latter dropped out late on. There was no matching Jonathan Pringle and Pierce O'Callaghan though, as they dominated the two-wheel drive battle from stage 4 onwards. Pringle felt like he'd no grip at all on stage 7, running a harder compound tyre to the rivals, and he dropped 10 seconds as McPhillips closed in. But the Cavan driver was back on pace for the final 2, setting another fastest time on the power stage to secure a commanding 21.8 second victory and claim his third Mark II Challenge trophy of 2026. And that assured drive as chaos reigned around him shows just why he's a 3-time winner. John Warren and Ruth Ann O'Connor brought their Ford Fiesta Rally 2 home in 10th overall. The Mayo crew, who hadn't been out since February's Galway International Rally, slid through the stages on slicks, somehow staying out of the ditches to eventually claim a top 10 finish. Joseph Kelly and Paddy McCrudden finished 9th in their Toyota Yaris Rally 2, the Donegal crew staying out of trouble to secure the 23-year-old's best result since stepping up to four-wheel drive machinery. After impressing early to tie for 4th with Kevin Eves after 3 stages, Keelan Grogan and Stephen Joyce's rally was derailed by that rain on stage 4. The Fiesta driver didn't trust the conditions after locking up on the first junction and dropped 6th places to 10th. He recovered to finish 8th overall, another young pilot quickly adapting to those Rally 2s. Gary Kiernan showed some strong pace through the middle stages, setting the second fastest time on stage 7 to move up to 6th, just 1 second behind Moffat. Another third place time on stage 8 put him into 5th and became a sudden contender for a podium finish. But disaster struck on the power stage when a big spin cost him 30 seconds. He had to settle for 7th, 39.2 seconds behind the winners. Marion Evans led the rally after 6 stages, but with his focus on the BRC, the Welshman backed off on the wrong tyres on stage 8, preserving his Toyota. He dropped 20 seconds on the power stage with this overshoot, eventually finishing in 6th. Tommy Doyle and Liam Moynihan were in top form aboard their Hyundai i20 Rally 2 with a searing drive through the power stage, moving them up 3 places to finish 5th overall. Quinn thanked his gravel crew for a last-minute tyre call on stage 7, switching over to wets and getting back onto pace.
Caution, come back. 5 left, short, fast, 4 right, plus, small, shiny, kink. 40 to a 6 left, 20 to a flat 6 right, care, middle over crest, jump. Cover, 5 right, 40, C6 left over crest, 6 right, 150.
Fastest on stage 8 moved him up to 7th overall, and another overshoot here on the power stage didn't stop him moving up 3 positions to finish 4th, just 4.7 seconds off the podium positions. Championship leader Josh Moffat dropped 9 seconds to the leaders on stage 7 and lost 4th place to Cahan McCourt, while stage 8 brought more time loss and he was then usurped by Gary Kiernan. But the multiple champion gritted his teeth on Carlow's finale. Despite smoke coming from the Yaris on the power stage, he actually almost pulled in before it cleared. Moffat was back on pace and catapulted up to 3rd with the second fastest time. Cahan McCourt's increasing competitiveness continued on stage 7 when he set the 3rd fastest time despite being on soft slicks. Another impressive time on stage 8, going 2.1 seconds quicker than Eves, moved him into 3rd and only 3 seconds off the lead heading into the power stage. Unfortunately, a spin on the final test ended his victory challenge, but McCourt and McNulty will be delighted to head back to Tyrone with a runner-up finish. Kevin Eves and Chris Melly eked out a 0.9 second lead over Michael Boyle on tightly fought stages 7 and 8. This overshoot did not help on the final stage, and Carlow continued to deliver blows right to the end when Eves' Skoda failed to make the end of the Kellymount power stage, handing victory to Boyle and Dermot McCafferty, who did all they could to set the fastest time on the 13-kilometre decider. Boyle's bonus point victory makes him end for some rotten luck so far in 2026, putting his name back on the top step of the podium and springing his name back into championship contention. 4.5 seconds was their eventual winning margin over Cam McCourt and Barry McNulty after an incredible day of Triton Showers action.
How could you explain getting to the finish today when it was just so full of drama? What was the secret? Tell us.
Well, you had to go fast and clean and hard, but here at the same time you always, here to finish first you have to finish, and I've been on the other side of it too, where you can be quick for a few stages, but here if you don't get to the end and don't get to the finish, here all that hard work has gone to waste. So no, we always had it in the back of our mind, even though we had a few moments there today, and you're going to have moments when you're pushing at that sort of top end, but no, over the moon to get it here, and sorry to see Chris and Kevin off there in the last one, but here that happened to them today, and I'm sure it'll happen to me some other day, and great racing there with
And it's a Donegal win.
Donegal win.
So there it is then, confirmation of the overall results of the Seven Oaks Hotel Carlow Stages Rally. After 3 rounds of the Triton Showers National Rally Championship, Josh Moffat tops the leaderboard, followed by Shane Quinn in second and Cam McCourt now moving into third.
Well, that's a wrap from us all here at the Seven Oaks Carlow Stages Rally. Thanks to all the crews, officials, marshals, sponsors and the fans for being part of what can only be described as a drama-filled day of Irish rallying. We'll see you at the next one. Thanks for watching.
Next up is the Circuit of Munster Rally, and we hope you'll join us for the next round of the Triton Showers National Rally Championship. Subscribe to this YouTube and don't miss any of the action. From myself, Rory Williams, and all the Flying Finn Motorsport team, thanks for watching.